In this video, I'm going to show you guys our new drop-in boards for the Nissan GTR. So I've had a few people ask in the past about making drop-in boards for the Nissan GTR. Something that has been a little bit of back and forth and trying to get the sizing right and figure out the best layout, but we finally have a product. There's a limited quantity on hand currently, but we will be getting more in the future. As you see, we got our boards here. These are using our UCS 2904 RGBW LEDs. So they have a very nice high output, and in general, the reliability is really good. Plus they're 12 volt, so you don't have to worry about any inverters. So as you can see, our layout starts here at the bottom for your input, and you do have outputs on the other end. Now, one key factor to the GTR is that it is not fully drop-in. There is some trimming that you'll have to do, but it will fit within the housing. So as you can see, you'll just remove the diffuser here. And a key point to factor in here, I did diffuse this further. So I just took it using our sandblasting cabinet and hit it on both sides just to give it a nice milky coating. And that's mainly because this is so clear to begin with. So, you know, seeing those LEDs individually, it's pretty bad. It's one of the downsides to the GTR. There's just no space in here to be able to put a strip with enough distance between the front cover where it will look uniform and smooth, and that's something to consider. It is a pretty cool effect. It does look pretty cool and it should draw attention, but if you do have a customer that's really worried about seeing those individual LEDs, definitely keep that in mind, because unfortunately for addressable, I think this is probably the best option, if not the only option out there, but it is what it is as far as the LEDs go due to that spacing distance between the diffuser and the back of the housing. When it comes to getting the boards in, there's just two basic areas where you're gonna have to trim. You gotta trim a little bit up top here so that you can slide the strip in and it'll just go right behind that area. This is a very small area, so we played with the idea of trying to create a PCB that would just drop right in, and it just wasn't possible, especially not with the UCS. We might have gotten away with like an SK 6812, but the lower reliability of those, as well as the diminished output versus the UCS, we really didn't want to go that route. Another area, far less trimming, but a little bit, is the back side at the top here. And so you will have to trim that just a little bit in order to get the PCB to slide up in. But other than that, it pretty much just drops straight in. So the first thing I do is just slide this through the top hole. And if you're not planning on using any outputs, you can always just cut that off, and that'll save you from having to deal with that. Then it'll just slide right in, and you can go down to the other end here. We are using a very flexible rigid strip. So it is rigid, but it's far more flexible than our standard rigid strips. We may switch to this in the future, but the PCB does cost more. So that's one factor why we haven't just gone ahead and made the switch to this for our rigids, is the extra cost that would be added on to those strips. But we may bring out the 1 meter long in this new PCB style, just due to the fact that it does have a lot more flexibility while still being able to mount the components on the back, which is necessary with the UCS products. We do have the power and ground here for power injection if that is needed. If you are not planning on doing power injection, just go ahead and cut these two wires off, and that way the power and ground that is exposed on that connection doesn't possibly touch anything and ground itself out. Next, you're just going to slide this right in to that hole. And once again, getting it cut out just right, the main idea is that it's going to slide kind of like back behind there. So you got to cut it out a good bit. Ultrasonic cutter works really well here, but you could definitely get away with a Dremel or some other kind of cutting tool. So once you got it in place, just make sure that everything fits in there loosely. You don't want any hang-ups, and then you push it in, you might snap the board or something like that. You know, just be careful and conscious of that. Once again, ideally you're going to want to make sure that this has been diffused beyond the factory amount, and then you just go ahead and put it in like you would normally. You can just pull that PCB back just a little bit on the back side there. This will slide right in. The tabs in the middle here will all fit in their holes like normal, and you may want to consider on the back side adding a little bit of glue to help hold those tabs in place wherever they secure in. just to help prevent the chances that they try to pop out on you after you install them on the car. And then, as you can see, I got it in there, and you go ahead and connect it up and just test everything out and make sure that, you know, all the LEDs are still running right. One reason we switched to this PCB is just the level of flexibility that this light has. You're twisting that strip quite a bit up in there, and on our very first run, we made one pair to test out using the same PCB that we used for the semi-rigid UCS 2904s, and unfortunately we had a break within the data line. I believe it was right up in here, and basically it was determined that that is more than likely due to the extra flex that this has to do going up through here. So we went back to the drawing board and decided on a different PCB. This is thinner and more flexible, but as I said, it is more expensive. So you'll see that reflected in the price point a little bit on these, but unfortunately using the thicker PCB, I just didn't have enough confidence being the amount of flex that this light has to do from the base here all the way up to the top. It's probably hard to see on the camera, but you can see the individual LEDs the whole way up in there. And once again, this is something that you're gonna wanna discuss with your customers, or you know, yourself if you're putting it on your own car. Just keep in mind that those LEDs are visible, and if that's a really big deal for you, unfortunately, I don't know that addressable is going to be an option for the GTR. But overall, I think it looks pretty good, and I'll say for me, with as much as I like custom and prefer custom, I think it's worth the trade-off in having something extremely unique and fairly simple to install versus attempting to make these shapes yourself with any other kind of strips. Plus, you'll be getting the addressable LEDs versus a simple sequential switchback or something where it could be a little bit more uniform and tight. These are available on the website right now, and they will work with Ghost controllers, Glowcraft controllers, and our ProFlow series controllers for the headlights. Just make sure you choose the 12-volt option if you go with that controller. There's a link in the description of this video for these strips on our website, and we will be getting more in the near future. So if it shows out of stock, just reach out and we can try to give you an ETA on when the next batch will be in. Thanks for watching, and check out nextlevelneo.com for all of your LED lighting needs.